project management is absolutely essential. What you have is a limited staff, you're usually tight on budget, and you've got deadlines that are coming due. And unless you're thinking the process through in the beginning, you're doomed to failure.
Efficiency in a competitive environment is what will make or break you.
We need to have accountability, responsibility for all of the efforts that we take, and that's achieved through good project management.
Project management is the basis of all business.
We're Symantec Corporation. Our business is to help you succeed in your business. And Symantec's TimeLine is the #1 selling project manager. To understand why, listen to our customers. Here are just a few of their TimeLine success stories. In the spring of 1990, American Airlines was presented with a golden opportunity, the chance to take over 20 destinations to 15 Latin American countries from Eastern Airlines. But to close the $100 million deal, American had to act fast.
Because of the magnitude of this project and the short time that was available for us to start the service, the pressure was extreme, because when it came to startup date, it had to be there on that date. We couldn't do it again, we couldn't backtrack, we couldn't add more time. It had to be done on that specific date. Monumental task, so I went to our systems, our information people, and I said, what can you provide in order to facilitate this project?
We chose TimeLine for a number of very important reasons. Number one, it had to provide the reports that the client wanted. One of the best features of TimeLine was its user interface and the ability to use the macro features. We were able to turn over this prototype model of a schedule to a person who had absolutely no PC background. And he was able to pick up in a very short period of time the attributes of being able to generate the reports that his management and upper management wanted.
I had no previous computer experience, no project management experience, and certainly no TimeLine experience. I had a half a day of training, and then they threw me in and I sat down and started, and it was a lot of fun just learning the macro capabilities and all the other capabilities involved with TimeLine, and just sitting down and learning to deal with it through the manual and everything. I was able to get the ball rolling in a very short period of time. The macros were crucial in developing the report, the TimeLine report for our bi-weekly meetings. Managers could look at each specific task involved in their work area and was able to really see a clear picture on if we're behind, if we're ahead, we're on schedule, or what it would take to get on schedule.
A manager could look at it and say, well, I said I was 50% finished, but I was really 30%, or I was really 80%, or it became a communication tool so they could then further quickly elucidate upon what they were accomplishing, what problems they were having.
We were able to sit down with all 38 in the same meeting and share each department's plan. So if there was a problem in the plan that was going to impact another group, it was known immediately.
American Airlines' success story hinged on a committed team executing a well-thought-out plan. A key element in the planning process was TimeLine's customizable Gantt chart. In this sample schedule, these columns indicate task name, duration in days, and start date. The entire project is graphically represented over here on the right. Whether your project lasts only a few weeks or 25 years, these task bars let you see at a glance the status and timing of key elements of your plan. Cursor through each task, and Timeline displays information about it up here. And the end date appears at the bottom, so you always know where you stand. Timeline's lotus-like menu makes it easy to get up and running. For example, File Save will save your current schedule. These plus signs indicate that these tasks summarize more information. With a keystroke, the details for the prototype phase are revealed. Or you can open the entire schedule. With Timeline's flexible outline structure, you can focus on the big picture, yet have all the details instantly at your fingertips. To add a new task, just position the cursor, hit an Insert key, and a task form appears. Let's name this task Review Materials Requirements, and estimate it will take 2 weeks. You can assign up to 24 resources. Then a keystroke or click of the mouse brings you back to your schedule. But Review Materials Requirements can happen only after Build Prototype is complete. Timeline makes it easy to set up your schedule logic. With a keystroke, Timeline sets up the dependency between the two tasks. If the Build Prototype task slips, the Review Materials Requirements task will automatically be adjusted. Timeline Gantt charts are fully customizable. Choose from a variety of layouts we provide, or create your own from over 120 data columns.
Timeline never let us down in any of the tests that we put it to. When we wanted to know if we were on time from a specific department standpoint and the task within that department, we could punch some buttons and ask the right question, which was readily available. We got the answer.
And what you see is what you get. And the fact that you could adjust very easily the size of the report, the information you want to contain in that report, allowed us to adjust that report exactly as management requested, to the T, if I may say so.
Communication is the name of the game, and whatever makes it easy, and Timeline made it easy.
Timeline lets you create the kind of presentation that's most appropriate to your audience. Whether you're outputting to a plotter, a laser printer, a dot matrix, or PostScript printer, Timeline offers professional quality and design flexibility. Timeline will even let you create stunning, full-color slides and overheads. And in preparing your presentation, Timeline's exclusive auto-scale feature lets you automatically fit your presentation to one page, or as many pages as you want. Timeline's WYSIWYG preview allows you to see exactly how your graph will look before printing or plotting. You can even zoom in and out. Nothing gets your point across like a Timeline project presentation.
The real power of Timeline was because it objectified what had to be done. And because it objectified what had to be done, we could make a commitment and get that project done.
We could track. We tracked them on a weekly basis, and it sort of served as an upfront contract.
Anytime you have that many millions of dollars involved in a project, probably you're going to want to know you're doing it the way you should do it, or that you're going to meet your deadlines. Timeline let us do that.
To start up one city and do it on time is an accomplishment. Well, we started up 20 cities, and we did all 20 of them on time. Didn't miss a beat. The on-time machine did its thing, and we were on time.
At American Airlines, choosing Timeline was a corporate decision that really paid off.
I'm still here. Hello? Can you hear me, Marie? Did you reach AT&T?
But at AT&T, one enterprising corporate manager employed Timeline on his own initiative and used it to meet a major challenge.
AT&T, Michael, today?
This is AT&T's customer service center in Pleasanton, California. When a residential telephone customer anywhere on the West Coast has a billing question or needs service, the call is answered here by one of 300 service representatives.
For St. Antonio, then we could probably avoid
And this is Ron Bass, an operations staff manager for AT&T's Western region. His job is to manage the Pleasanton Center, plus others in Phoenix and Dallas, and plan their expansion to keep pace with the rapid growth of AT&T's long-distance business in 15 Western states.
When I came over to AT&T, we were essentially starting a brave new world of unregulated operations, and at that time we had to move into a competitive environment and be able to make it against the competition. We were no longer sheltered by the government. We had to set up new offices that would operate in ways that our previous experience in the Bell system just told us wouldn't work in a competitive field. So I became interested in project management and started reading about project management philosophy simply so that I could become more organized in my work. A little after that time, got a hold of a computer and found out about Timeline and started putting it to work right away. 16, and they're all going to be over here? Terminals, right in that corner over there. The first major project that I used Timeline for was the building of our Pleasanton facility. When we first got the building, it was really nothing more than an empty shell. And into that empty shell, we had to put the systems to support over 300 service representatives and get it done rather quickly. And sometimes it was tough to get the equipment that we needed. So as things slipped, and we know that in all projects things do slip, we were able to put out orders for circuitry and save ourselves an awful lot of money.
Timeline gives you the options you need to quickly and effectively cope with the unexpected. What if it takes 4 weeks to secure private financing instead of 2? Just re-edit your schedule directly, the way you would a spreadsheet. Timeline even lets you reverse those changes with our unique Undo Redo feature, a powerful tool for testing out different strategies quickly and easily. Has Timeline spotted a resource conflict? These R's indicate that the resources assigned to these 2 tasks are overcommitted. Let's see if the engineering staff has been stretched too thin. Timeline lets you highlight just those resources you want to look at, in this case, engineers. This histogram graphically reveals their work assignments. Sure enough, this red portion indicates that the engineers have been overcommitted. Timeline's resource leveling feature will automatically reschedule the engineer's tasks. That resolves the resource conflict, but the project's end date has now slipped. Also, these dotted lines indicate that certain tasks have been delayed. And these conflict markers show that key milestones have also shifted. If that's unacceptable, let's have the Director of Engineering fill in for one of the overcommitted engineers. That resolves the resource conflict without delaying the project.
I began with Timeline 1.0, and what I was interested in was features that would enable me to track a variety of different jobs and relate the most important features of those jobs, the start and stop dates, together. And just having the ability to go in there and look at a project as in a linear fashion, if you will, through the Gantt chart, and then again at the tasks and who's responsible for completing those tasks is just absolutely fantastic. Timeline has given me a vehicle of saving time, becoming more efficient, and probably even more important, keeping our people quickly informed of what's going on. With the help of Timeline, we were able to develop this facility here in Pleasanton, California, and a similar facility in Phoenix, Arizona, simultaneously, and open those facilities on time and within budget. I doubt if we would have been able to accomplish that task without sophisticated and reliable project management software.
Washington Michigan State's Lewis River Basin is a 160 square mile natural wonderland that includes the Merwin Hydroelectric Project. When a competing public agency challenged Pacific Power's right to operate the plant, the private utility had to convince state and federal regulators that they could successfully manage the timber, wildlife, recreational and other resources of the Lewis River Basin. That difficult assignment went to Jerry Ropey, a wildlife scientist in the company's environmental services group.
Merwin, the project itself, it's a cornerstone to Pacific Corp's operations. It's a sizable portion of our hydroelectric generation, and the relicensing of it was essential that we maintain that project. A lot of utilities have gotten into operation and maintenance ends of the thing where they've turned into nightmares from an efficiency standpoint and expended a lot of dollars needlessly. So we were kind of on the firing line to show not only that we were resource management professionals, but that we could communicate that information so other people would believe it. I think one of the things I found very valuable with Timeline early on was that it provided an educational process into project management. Now this is an example of what we'd put out as a planned report that we'd send out to the agencies, etc. It allowed us to break down the complexity of the 14 or 15 resource management areas and deal with those so that they were manageable units. With the standard operating procedure, we have the project schedule, which gives us, it's the key leg in documentation, compliance, planning, etc. And what we've done is put in a master schedule that basically lists the tasks and identifies those start and end dates. And we've broken those down into various chapters that correspond to the standard operating procedures so that you can focus quickly on the specific type of information you're looking for. And then we've set up various column heads. And as I mentioned, those column heads can be very quickly modified. We happen to have those stored right now so that they can be brought up. But they were actually kind of enjoyable to develop because you could play the what-if process with them to see and assess which one gave you the best information. And this, in the standard operating procedure, was just to give the agencies an idea of the tasks and how they're linked. And then we go through, and this is a dynamic process, so it's continually updated and adjusted to fit the needs. Timeline was a tool that fit in with other tools, and so to speak a bag of tricks to accomplish the overall product that we needed.
At Pacific Power Company, project management had to fit into a larger data management system. Connectivity, the ability to share data among different software packages, was vital. And Timeline made it easy. It's designed to import and export from such products as Lotus 123, Lotus Symphony, DBase, Microsoft Excel, and Borland's Quattro, as well as through ASCII CSV. For large-scale reporting, Timeline can also import and export to the leading mini and mainframe project management systems.
Previous years, we've had 3 to 5 man-months in preparation of some of these annual reports. But with Timeline, we've been able to prepare that in less than a man-week. And that's tremendous savings right now. The company in a downsizing mode, it's very valuable to find more efficient and effective ways to present information. And we've had very good response both from our other utility members and from the state and federal agencies on acceptance. They understand it. Maybe had to do a little bit of discussion initially with them to understand the mechanisms and processes, but now it's become pretty rote for them, and it's an excellent means of communication from them to understand and for us to do it in a very cost-effective manner.
So if you're in the market for PC-based project management software, get the one chosen by 48 of Fortune's top 50 companies. The one rated best by reviewers and users alike. With Timeline, you get more than just a software product. You get a complete solution. That includes free technical support, expert training and consulting services, and a comprehensive corporate support program. So if project management is on your priority list, get Timeline and write your own Timeline success story.
Timeline was a very important tool. It made my life a little easier.
It could fit in, it could integrate. It didn't have to be this standalone mechanism, and it allowed us flexibility to develop what we wanted and needed.
Well, the technical support we got from Timeline was just superb.
The support was there, the ease of handling was there, the product was priced the way we wanted it to be. There was never anything disappointing about it. We always knew where we were and had the right product.
If you would like more information about Timeline and other Symantec products, call this toll-free number,